Alright guys, welcome to the Titration lab. In this lab, we're going to find the molarity of an acid based on the MV equals MV formula. So let me introduce you guys to all the equipment that you guys will be using. So there's the ring stand, the clamp, the burette, the funnel, two 150 milliliter beakers. There's also and a pipette. So now let's go over some of the solutions that we're going to be using. There is phenolphthalein, an unknown concentration of HCl, and NaOH. So let's also discuss some dangers of using these solutions. NaOH is very toxic. You should not ingest it and get it on your skin or in your eyes. HCl is toxic by inhalation and if you ingest it, and it's severely irritable to the skin and corrosive to your eyes. Phenolphthalein is toxic by indigestion and inhalation.
It's not indigestion.
So guys, let's talk about some of the dangers of using these solutions. So the phenolphthalein, it's very toxic by ingestion and inhalation, and it's irritable to the skin and very flammable. The HCl is toxic by inhalation and ingestion, and it's severely irritable to the skin and corrosive to your eyes. The NaOH solution is very toxic. You don't want to ingest it or get on your skin or your eyes, but we're wearing goggles, so we should be good. Now, the most important thing to remember in this entire experiment is do as you order, add acid to water. Alright guys, always remember to wear your goggles and apron when you're performing this lab. You obtain an early line floss from your teacher, and you should rinse out all the beakers, the burette, and the flasks that you obtained with distilled water before you perform the experiment. So after you close the burette, you should fill it up with a base. So here I'm going to add the NaOH to the battery cylinder to the funnel. Then I'm just going to pour it in, using the funnel again. And if you can notice, there's just a little bit more to add, so I'm going to add the few milliliters left. And that's 100 milliliters of the base. So now guys, you're going to measure 50 milliliters of acid, pour that into the flask. Now we also need to add 2 to 3 drops of phenolphthalein into the flask. The phenolphthalein acts as an indicator, and it tells us when the color changes, and that's what we need to find, the equivalence point. So I'm going to put that under the burette. And now you're ready to start the titration itself. So now guys, we're going to take this 1 milliliter at a time, and you're going to slowly add each milliliter. And you're going to shake it up, and you're going to notice a color change. There isn't a color change, you're going to keep going. 1 milliliter at a time. There still isn't a color change, you're going to keep going, every single, one by one. And we're getting close now, so notice how it changes. See that color change? It's not there yet. And that, right there, is what the end color should be. Now, for the cleanup procedures, we're just going to take everything out, put it in the sink. and drain it in. We should also clean it up with water. Just rinse it out, kind of lightly. So now this is the cleanup procedures. We should clean it up with distilled water, just wrapping it all around so all of it is clean, pouring it out. We should also use some soap. And after you're done with that, you should hang it up on the rack